There's never been a player in the history of the NBA more disrespected by the media and experts like Jalen Brunson.
I mean, Kevin Durant is playing basketball in New York City, and you're just like talking about, can we get Brunson?
But the reason the Knicks will lose this series will be because of Jalen Brunson.
The saddest sweepstakes ever. The Jalen Brunson sweepstakes.
And then Victor Wembanyama, the most physically gifted player in the NBA, thought he could bully him in the finals too.
Watch this play. This is what frustrated Brunson. Oh, whoa! That's, excuse me, that should be a flagrant one.
But one person asked him to prove them all wrong.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
And that's exactly what Jalen Brunson did to everyone who talked trash to him. So, let's start with the man who's everything that everyone disrespected Brunson for. Heading into the 2026 NBA Finals, almost everything favored San Antonio. They had home court advantage, the most unique player basketball has ever seen in Victor Wembanyama, and a roster that many believed was arriving ahead of schedule. After eliminating Oklahoma City, the celebration almost felt like a team that could already see the Larry O'Brien trophy waiting for them.
Look at the emotion from Wemby. Unbelievable.
Josh Hart noticed it too. Watching from the other side, he felt San Antonio did what they did the previous season when the Knicks knocked out the Celtics. They believed the hardest part was already over.
They beat OKC, and that was like, for them, for a young team, I feel like that was a mountaintop for them. And then that's why I looked at JV, I was like, you see that reaction because like, they think they're going to win it. Like, they think it's over.
From the outside, that confidence made sense. Wembanyama stood nearly 8 feet tall, and with his wingspan, could erase shots at the rim without leaving his feet. Basically, he presented the exact kind of matchup people had spent years saying would finally expose Brunson. If critics believed a 6'2" guard couldn't lead a championship team, then surely the longest defender in basketball would be the one to prove them right. But they were all wrong. The height didn't matter. Brunson kept getting to his spots, kept making the biggest shots, and kept dragging the Knicks closer to a championship every time the Spurs looked ready to take control. By the end of the series, the conversation wasn't about Wembanyama's size anymore. It was about the same thing people had underestimated for years: Brunson's heart, composure, and ability to rise when the stakes were highest. But the truth is, Victor Wembanyama didn't invent the doubts surrounding Jalen Brunson. Long before the finals, some of the biggest voices in basketball had already decided he could never be the best player on a championship team. Victor Wembanyama may have been the latest person to underestimate Jalen Brunson, but he certainly wasn't the first. Long before Brunson brought New York its first title in 53 years, some of the biggest names in basketball had already convinced themselves his ceiling was unbreakable. The most common criticism had nothing to do with his skill. It had everything to do with his size. Historically, this wasn't even a ridiculous opinion. The league had always been dominated by bigger stars: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic. Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry were viewed as the rare exceptions, not the rule. But if exceptions exist, then there could be other ones too. The problem for Brunson's critics was that they kept treating him like every other undersized guard, and Becky Hammon wasn't alone. Matt Barnes believed the modern NBA had simply become too big for someone Brunson's size to win.
I love Brunson, but I feel like in this era, your point guard can't be your best player if it's a small guard.
Right.
I mean, SGA is a point guard, but he's 6'6". Yeah. You know what I mean? He's the size of a wing.
Colin Cowherd questioned almost every part of Brunson's game: his athleticism, his defense, even his playmaking.
Jalen Brunson's very good. He's not great. If you look at the teams in the playoffs, their best player is Wemby and Jokic and Ant. right now, LeBron, Tatum and Brown. He just doesn't, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. Brunson's a 6'2 guy, not super hyper athletic and a defensive liability, and he's not a great playmaker. When you're 6'2, limited athletically, not great defensively, kind of a liability, and not a great, I mean, Brunson's not a great playmaker.
And of course, Mad Dog couldn't picture Brunson leading the Knicks anywhere meaningful in the playoffs.
But, I mean, do we think Brunson is a guy that is going to bring them to a second-round playoff series? He's not.
Different analysts from different networks, and yet somehow they all arrived at the exact same conclusion. Jalen Brunson wasn't good enough to be the best player on a championship team. The funny thing is, those opinions only made what happened next even more satisfying. But before that, they were even questioning the sacrifices he made to win. This is the weirdest part of all the criticisms that Jalen Brunson faced, because people have always prioritized winning a championship as the ultimate. So, you would think it was okay to make sacrifices. But when Jalen did it, Paul Pierce couldn't believe he did it for a championship he couldn't win.
That's hard to hear, Skip.
Yeah, it is.
What you say, $113 million he left on the table?
Yeah.
You left $113 million? That don't even sound right. Did I say 113? What? Hey, listen, I get it. You want to win a championship, but that don't guarantee you a championship.
Pierce understood why players chase championships. He won one himself. But sacrificing that much money only makes sense if you truly believe your team is capable of finishing the job. And Pierce wasn't convinced Brunson was enough.
For the Knicks to make a final run, they need to find a player that's better than Jalen Brunson. Your best player can't be 6'2".
Another NBA champion who actually won with a player who was also considered too small said the same thing.
January 2026, I still think the New York Knicks are missing that one piece that makes you a championship team. And that's Kevin Durant, that's Steph Curry, that's SGA, that's LeBron James. That's these 1A, bona fide 1A, that like if I go here tomorrow, I'm 1A. If I go there the next day, I'm 1A. Until they have that, I just don't think it's gonna be very tough to win a championship. And I double down on this. Just like Becky Hammon said, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
For Draymond Green, Curry was the only one who could do it in this era. But the irony is that New York never found someone better than Jalen Brunson. They didn't need Kevin Durant. They didn't need another MVP. Brunson became exactly the player everyone insisted the Knicks were missing. By the end of the season, Jalen proved him wrong. And one by one, the people who had spent years doubting Brunson started changing their minds. Some apologized, others added Jalen's name to the list of exceptions. Just hear what Becky Hammon had to say.
I'm speaking historically on the NBA with what I said. I don't know why that's being brought, like why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago.
Winning changes a lot of conversations. Arguments suddenly disappear and hot takes become difficult to defend. And sometimes the only thing left to do is admit you were wrong.
I just missed it on how good he could be, and I'm going to be singing his praises the rest of his career.
Are you surprised at all at the Knicks' success?
To this extent, yes, and I've said this all year. Well, since about midseason, I missed by as wide a degree as any player I've covered in my career as a broadcaster the ceiling for a player as I have with Jalen Brunson.
Matt Barnes also apologized.
I said like 3 times before I even said this that I was wrong about Brunson. Like, Brunson's a fucking monster. So stop tagging me with other people. I apologize.
And so did Draymond Green.
You ask yourself, what did he prove to the basketball world? Everything. I apologize to Jalen Brunson. I've been very critical of Jalen Brunson. Just not thinking that, hey man, he's this 1A guy.
Stephen A., who once said this.
Trading their first round pick away, and for what? To go all in on clearing cap space in hopes of signing Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson isn't the answer!
Also offered his own apology.
In my career, nobody has trolled me better than Jalen Brunson.
He even went further to offer an apology on behalf of the other experts and media personalities who have refused to do so.
National television owe this man an apology.
But what if I told you that the doubts are not over? Here's Kevin Durant in a recent interview.
Tell them to strike while the iron's hot. I mean, this is a time that I don't think New Yorkers or the Knicks could, we're gonna get back, So I think you should. I mean, you gotta take advantage of this time right now. You don't know if this will come around.
Yeah.
It's been 53 years, so.
I mean, it could be a 56.
It could be another 53-year wait. So.
At the beginning of his career, people measured Jalen Brunson by everything they could see, and they spoke of all the things they couldn't see. Even after he did the impossible, doubts still remain. But no one wants to talk about what helped him win. Why he left over $100 million on the table.
Same thing, Jalen's good, but this and this and this and
when they
said
but, what was the but about?
It was too slow, not athletic enough, too small, all those things that don't measure heart. And that's what I have.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of negative stuff to say. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. But when you prove them wrong, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
Maybe the biggest lesson from Jalen Brunson's journey is don't waste your time talking trash to him, because he'll make sure basketball does the talking. And then you'll either have to apologize or get rolled. But if you want to hear from the one person who didn't doubt Jalen, watch Charles Barkley was totally right about Jalen Brunson next.